This presentation is for educational diagnostician test prep. We're going to talk about some evidence-based instruction that we can use in our constructive response. Specifically, we're going to be talking about reading interventions that we can recommend in our constructive response in the test. Rapid and accurate decoding using knowledge of letter-sound correspondence to identify written words is the foundation of proficient reading. When decoding is slow or inaccurate, comprehension is impaired because cognitive energy must be allocated to the decoding process. Today, we're going to be discovering about decoding interventions. These are three word analysis interventions, the ones that we're going to study, and then we're going to talk about one that targets fluency. We will have word building, dissect, graphosyllabic analysis, and pair reading. The first one is word building. In this case, we can write the following steps in our constructive response. Number 1, give letter cards with sounds to the students. Number 2, pronounce the word, for example, sat, and ask the student to build it. Then write it, have students modify the constructions as needed, and then have students read it. Number 3, tell students to insert, delete, or exchange a specific letter card to transform the word into a new one, and ask them to read it. Number 4 is related to error correction. Avoid saying the word for them. Encourage attempts based on letter sounds and guide them to blend the sounds together progressively. If students mistake the word for a similarly spelled one, write it and help them analyze the difference between words based on letter sounds units. Another part of our reading response is to write how the teacher should monitor for these specific interventions. In this case, we can recommend compare percent correct scores on the pseudo word list for the target student before and after implementation. Compare score on reading skill sheets, quizzes, or end of unit tests before and after implementation. And the last one will be compare CBN fluency and comprehension scores for the target student before and after implementation. This particular intervention is appropriate for first graders who receive instruction in short vowels, long vowel sounds controlled by silent E, vowel digraph, and R-controlled vowels. Another intervention would be dissect. The following steps are the ones we should write in the report. Discover context, which is skip the difficult word, and read the end to the end of a sentence to make the best guess. Isolate prefix. Look at the beginning of the word to see if the first few letters form a prefix. Separate suffix. Look at the end of a word to see if several letters form a suffix. Then say the stem. Examine the stem, which is dissect the stem into easy to pronounce parts. Next, check, which means if you cannot pronounce, ask someone to do it. And finally, if you cannot figure it out, just try dictionary. The next intervention is graphosyllabic analysis, that it has 5 steps to decoding complex words. The first is read the words aloud and display it. Second, explain the word's meaning. Ask the student to give the word meanings and provide corrective feedback if needed. 3. Orally divide the word into syllables. Pronounce each syllable aloud while raising a finger at a time to count syllables and explain division rules. Number 4 will be match the pronounced form of each syllable to its spelling. And 5 will be blend the syllables to say the whole words. Moving your fingers slowly blend the syllables to pronounce the whole words. Say, finally, I put the syllables together to read the whole words. The last intervention is pair reading. The teacher, the diagnostician, can write in the report the following steps. Number 1, warm up, which means you can ask the student, how is the day going? Number 2, set timer for 10 minutes. Number 3, have the child choose passage from choices available. That means the teacher has to prepare in advance a few reading passages to give the student to choose from. Number 4, begin reading simultaneously, adjusting the rate as needed. 5, when a child makes an error, point to the place, provide the correct word, have a child repeat it, and reread the entire sentence. 6, begin duet reading again. 7, when the child gives the signal to read along, quietly praise the child. You can say good. Number 8, when the child makes another error, use the same correction procedure. 9, praise the child for reading behaviors like sounding and attempting difficult words. 10, end with a discussion about material and praise child's efforts. This is the book I use for these awesome references, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to like, and to hit the bell. Thanks.